Necromaniacs podcast. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Necromaniacs horror podcast. How's it going, Mike?
It is going well. I think spring is in full swing here in Brooklyn and probably Jersey.
Yeah.
And I feel like my eyes are burning a little, so that's a good sign. I don't even care that my eyes are burning a little because I was done with winter, Mr. Hill. You know.
You get springtime allergies and stuff?
Mm-hmm. I think I do. Mild, nothing too crazy, but but it's a good feeling. It means the happier days are ahead.
Yeah, dude. You and I were both commiserating on how brutal our jobs have been recently. So,
Yeah. I mean, work is busy. Look, it's good to have a job. I was out of work a really long time, so I'm definitely happy to be working. But it's funny, it's like I was out of work for so long, you forget like how much time you have to do all these little things and like errands and like you had all the time in the world, and now it's like you have no time to do any of these fucking things, and it's annoying.
yeah, no, totally, dude. And it's
Mm.
like, and I work home and in the office. Like I have days where I work at home, and I work primarily at home, actually, to be honest. But
Nice.
yeah, lately I haven't had time to do anything, dude. I've been like
Mm.
locked in my office for 10 hours a day doing shit, and it's like, I did those dates, and then I didn't even segue nice and easy into the work. It just was like I got smacked in the face as soon as I got back.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, I feel like such is the world, like everybody I know is kind of feeling that way. Because companies have shrunk and manpower has shrunk and people don't just do like one job at their job anymore. They do like five. And I feel
Yeah,
like that's what everybody tells me now.
this is true.
Yeah. But you know, happy that the winter is over and enjoyed the hell out of this week's film, of course, which we'll get to.
Oh yeah, definitely. You check anything else out recently?
Um, Still slowly going through True Detective season two. Have not finished it yet. Getting there. Really enjoying it. Oddly enough, Jane and I put on Dynasty the other night.
Oh wow.
The original 1981 season one Dynasty.
Where
Because
where would you watch that? Is that on
okay,
like
that's on
Tubi or
Tubi.
something?
It's on
Okay.
Tubi.
Yeah, they got all the good stuff.
And what's really interesting about season one of Dynasty is that Joan Collins isn't even on it. That's the most interesting part about it. And it just seems a little different. It reminds me of Landman, a lot of it actually. The show that Billy Bob Thornton that I fucking love, one of my favorite shows of the last 2 years. Because there's this whole big oil aspect to Dynasty that I kind of didn't really think about. I mean, look, I never actually watched the show as a kid, but as a kid in the 80s, you were hyper aware of Dynasty because Dynasty was a huge show, right, Mike?
Yeah, my mom and my aunt and
Right.
they all were into it. It was in the
Mhm.
background a lot of times, like when we were watching
Yeah.
TV at night. Yeah.
But it was like a big thing for any of the younger listeners out there, big, like hour-long drama. But I didn't realize how much like grit, I guess there was to season one, and like this whole thing about oil and big business. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I never really knew that. But apparently, Jane says Joan Collins comes in at the final episode of season one, and then
Oh.
she's obviously on the rest of the series. I was like, oh, I never knew that because I didn't watch it. Um, so we watched a couple of those, and we're watching that, and we're watching Mad Men, and plowing through my DC cartoons. Um, John Draper has been reminding me of the bevy of new horror that's out there that I have not watched. So I need to recommit myself to some new films, Mr. Hill.
Yeah, I haven't been share that list with me, dude, because I haven't been blown away by anything
I
this
know. Um, so there's the new Faces of Death that's out,
That's
and
out.
there's that.
It's out.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta watch that.
Hearing some good things from some people and some not so good things from others, but it's something that I would watch once it hits streaming. And he said Primate was really good. That's now on streaming,
Okay.
the Killer Ape movie. And there's just like, a couple of other things that like I need to just maybe even like write down on a sticky note and put near the computer and be like, okay, watch these fucking movies.
Yeah, I mean, so far I've only seen Bone Temple, and that
Mhm.
is a little men's a men's, if you know what I mean.
I will say, oh, I forgot to tell you, I watched the 2025, 28 years later, and I loved it. I actually loved that, Mike.
Yeah,
And if
no,
I
that was
saw
great.
it before our top six, it would have might have even been like number one or two or something. I actually loved it.
I really liked it.
Mm.
It got sort of mixed opinions,
Mhm.
around around the table here. So,
Yes, yes.
but I thought it was great, dude. I want to watch it again. And the second
That
one,
that
like little men's a men's, it
Met,
was,
okay, see, I'm gonna watch that. Definitely going to watch that very
yeah,
soon. But I did enjoy the prior. Um, and some interesting news to report is that Shudder has acquired the rights to HBO's Tales from the Crypt,
oh
so it's going to be
yes,
on Shudder. Yeah,
yep, I know that. I've seen that. Yeah,
we're excited for that. That's going to start in June of this year. Um, Need to do a little digging as to why HBO didn't want it for themselves, but I almost kind of feel like I know the answer without knowing the answer. I feel
yeah,
like there's probably literally nobody there left in a position of power that gives a rat's ass about that property at this
mm,
point.
could be.
It's been off the air for 30 years, give or take, and the culture has kind of shifted. And I feel like it's something that they probably didn't mind at all not having, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like pretty like iconic, really, for horror
It is
fans.
iconic, but it skews a little older, right?
Mm,
And it's not money maker like Sopranos, Game of Thrones,
right.
classic HBO. It's a little more niche. Honestly, if I had any say and I was there, I would have been like, no, it should be on HBO Max. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, but I would imagine they either passed on it or they licensed it out to Shutter for X amount of years or whatever. Like Mad Men is currently on HBO Max, right? But it's still owned by AMC. I believe it was a purely financial decision to get it onto HBO Max for a certain amount of time. I don't think it's going to be on HBO Max forever. I would love to know how many years it's going to be on. I would imagine maybe 2 or 3 years max, at the most. Um, but AMC got a nice, chunk of change for doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But they
no,
still own it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I'm a big fan of Tales from the Crypt. I love that. I used to love that show. I still love it.
Yeah. It's so funny. I haven't seen it in so long. I mean, a lot of it is going to be like a fresh viewing. So I'm excited about that,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? But yeah, they're going to have the entire series up there, not all at once. I think they're going to go like a season at a time for like
Oh, that's
a
cool.
certain, like a monthly kind of deal, like a
Yeah.
season a month or something like that, which I think is a great idea actually. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm stoked on that. I like that. Now, we lost Joe Bob on Shutter. Well, I mean, he's
yeah,
still
we're
technically,
about to, we're
yeah, he's
about
got a
to,
couple more
yes.
things, but so
Mhm.
I'm interested to see where he ends up. I mean,
Yes.
that should
I
be,
have no idea about that. I mean, it could be anywhere. So yeah, wherever he goes, I'll check it out, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Have you ever seen The Killing?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great movie, man.
Well, not the movie, this
Oh,
the
no, oh, the
series.
TV series, The Killing. Oh yeah, that was on in the
Like
mid late. Oh,
2010 maybe. Yeah,
yes,
20, yeah.
yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's great. I would watch that again.
Yeah, we're watching that, and just out on a whim, we just were into like we were in the mood to watch some like dark like detective like crime films, a
Hmm.
crime series. Specifically wanted to watch a series. So that just turned up on it's on Tubi. So you should check it out.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was on AMC. It started in 2011. Yeah,
Yep.
that was
And then
dope.
Yeah, and I think like Netflix acquired it somehow for a while.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was really really good. It's I think the way I backed into watching that again is that the people who wrote and produced that series have another series called The Chestnut Man, which has been come recommended highly to some of the listeners have recommended that to me.
Okay. Is
And
that's cool, Chestnut Man?
I haven't checked it out yet, but I know that it's the same production team. And The
Mhm.
Chestnut Man is like a straight up like Scandinavian, like it is the killing takes place in the United States, like in Seattle.
Yeah.
This is like straight up like you're in Scandinavia. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it's Danish. I just checked it
Danish.
out.
Yeah.
It premiered in 2021 on Netflix. Looks cool.
Yeah.
Danish crime series.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's a lot of this really cool like European crime stuff that I want to get into. It's making, making waves with people.
sick. Yeah.
Um, I just started reading the new Adam Neville book,
Mm.
Monumental.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How was it
It's
so
awesome.
far?
It's
Mm.
probably I mean I like all of his material, but this one I would put right up there with The Ritual and The Reddening as far as quality goes. So far it's like real page turner, interesting storyline. Of course it's like, it's very well placed within the folk horror sort of
Mm.
genre,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's like if anyone's ever read like The Willows by Algernon Blackwood, it's like it to me it's like a riff on that short story expanded out to like a 400 page novel or something like that.
Awesome.
Really, really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there should be some more films of his stuff, but he has his own audience. It kind of, I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
he's doing just fine.
Yeah, he's doing fine, that guy, definitely.
Mm.
Yeah. Before we get to the call, we have a call this week, but let's run down the lads.
Of
So
course.
uh
Yes.
so as you guys know, like we're part of this group of content creators that sometimes I refer to as the lads, but for everyone else, we're known as the horsemen of the podcasting apocalypse. So kicking things off, every other Monday, we've got Brandy Legion's Horror Wolf 666.
And on Tuesday, it's the greatest metal podcast in the land, Jackie Smith's own, Into the Necrosphere for all things heavy and extreme. And
Great
on Wednesday,
episode with Ralph, actually,
oh,
recently.
nice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wednesday, we've got Everything Went Black, which is I'm a little taking a couple weeks off from that. Just
Oh, hey, okay.
yeah, I'm playing catch up, man. There's no
Hmm.
problems. Like I mentioned earlier, we were talking earlier about just how intense the job has been recently, especially coming back from that quick 5 day run of dates, and I'm just a little
Yeah.
behind with stuff. But Necromaniacs is coming at you regularly though, so that's
Yeah.
Wednesday, and then of course we have Iblis Manifestations brought to you by Cheyenne. And Thursday is Necro Thursday, which you're listening to right now, as well as Day One of Soul Knocks by Carl Hikera.
Awesome. And let's see, Saturday's a day off,
Nope, well,
but Friday,
you skipped Friday. I
oh,
was
we
gonna say,
skipped a
man.
day. I
Yeah.
can't believe it. I skipped my very own brother, John Draper, with his cohorts, Bisha O'Brien and Shaheen. And of course, I am talking about Spitball Media. Very fun, irreverent podcast. Check it out, coming at you every Friday. Make sure you're subscribed to Spitball Media. And like I said, Saturday's a day off, but tell the crazy kids about Sunday.
Sunday is Day Two of Soul Knocks, brought to you by Carl Hikera. And Carl and I are, working hard on our Darkness Weaves collaboration. We've run out almost out of Carl Edward Wagner's material, so we're doing his Robert E. Howard pastiche novels. So currently, we're doing Road of Kings, which is a Conan novel, and after that, we're going to be moving on to his Bran Mac Morn novel, and from there, we'll see what we're going to do after that.
Awesome, man. Very cool. It's funny. I have a bunch of Conan stuff that I need to catch up on my reading wise, and perhaps I'll be doing that soon.
You can't go wrong with
No, you really can't. You really
yeah,
can't.
yeah,
Um, there was this local comic and card show the other month, and now I see they're kind of bringing it back again in a couple of weeks. Or actually, I think it's this coming weekend or the weekend after. So I'm gonna check it out again and see if the guys there that had all this Conan stuff the last time.
I recommend the Titan novels too, man. They have like
Mhm.
those are some of the better newer Conan stories. You
Mhm.
know, Titan, who also does the comic book, you know, the Savage Sword and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They also produce novels, and
Oh
they're very,
wow.
very, very, very good. So I recommend reading those.
Yeah, they're not screwing around over there at Titan.
Oh no, no, they're taking this shit very seriously, which is cool.
Sick.
All right,
And
so
I guess
oh, go
that's
ahead,
it.
man.
There you have it.
Yeah. So if you want to call us on the Necro phone, you can call us at 908-913-0782. And I mentioned that we had a caller. However, the part of it got cut off and there
Hmm.
was some technical issues with it. And I was not able to decipher this gentleman's name. All I can decipher is that he is from Portland, Oregon.
Hmm.
So the mystery man from Portland.
Yes.
Please call back, leave another message, straighten us out.
Yeah, man.
I want to know your name. And also just thank you. It means a lot to us to know that this podcast is something that you look forward to. And and just like I'm the same way, man. There's certain shows that I like rely on to, yeah, just make the week go by a little better, and I'll pass on the good words to Jeff about ISIS. So,
Yeah, yeah.
thank you very much.
So it's funny. He's in Portland, Oregon, and I was as I was listening to the very strange sounding, hard to decipher call. I'm like, is this out of Twin Peaks? This is weird. I'm like, this is a creepy call, man. Yeah, it sounded very creepy.
Yeah. I did my best to edit it and kind of compress it so it's a little bit more audible. But hey, man, these things happen.
Yeah,
Totally cool. Like if you want to reach out over the messenger, that's fine. Just we or call back, man. Like we'd love to hear from you.
cool. Thank you.
Why aren't you going to see her anymore?
Look, this just isn't what you think it is.
Was the sex that good? Lots of kinky things, is that it?
It's not that simple.
No. Our marriage has lasted for 23 years. That's longer than she's been alive. Is it the first time?
Yes.
So that leaves us with this week's feature film,
Mhm.
52 Pickup, a movie that you and I have been talking about doing for a while.
Yeah, forever. And we finally did it. And one of the reasons we did it is that it kind of fits right in line with our little sub series of neo noir films. And I kind of forgot that it's in line with that, to be honest, because in my head, it's an '80s crime sleaze film, but it is definitely also a neo noir film as well.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. I mean, we've been having a lot of fun doing these. It's like it breaks it up. We love horror, but we also love this stuff too. And also, I
Mm.
have to add, Mike, I think technically, they listed as a neo noir, but you touched on the sleaze factor. This
Mhm.
has an Italian Sergio Martino crime vibe to it as well.
It definitely does. I mean, the overall plot could totally line up with one of his movies in the '70s. Um, and listeners may know this film is based off of the Elmore Leonard novel from the '70s. Of course, Elmore Leonard also wrote Jackie Brown, one of Quentin Tarantino's best movies, which was based on his novel Rum Punch. So, of course, immediately after I watched the movie again, I went to eBay and I'm about to order one of the old paperbacks. The book is pretty much currently out of print right now, but I want to read it. Apparently, 52 Pickup was a popular book in 1974, and Roy Scheider himself loved the book, which is part of the reason why he said okay to this film, Mr. Hill.
That's cool. Yeah, I probably end up reading this too.
Hmm.
This is a movie that my dad liked too, and
Yeah, my dad
that's
liked it
yeah.
too.
I remember watching this with him when I was a kid.
I have a feeling a lot of dads in the 80s saw themselves as Roy Scheider in this movie, Mike. What do you think?
Yeah,
Like
maybe.
a lot. Like my
Yeah.
dad definitely did. Like definitely, you know, knowing my pop, rest in peace. But yeah, this is definitely a dad's 80s movie that like when you were younger, you had really no business watching this movie when you were younger in the 80s, but you watched it anyway. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of great reasons to watch this movie, especially if you caught it when you were a teenager in 1986. I was 13 in 1986 when I saw this movie on home video. Or I think it might have came out on home video in early 87 and I was still 16 or 13. And yeah, this is quite a film.
Well, it's directed by John Frankenheimer,
Hmm.
who brought us a lot of films, but specifically the things that The Birdman of Alcatraz, The Manchurian Candidate, French Connection 2,
Yeah. Hmm.
the often overlooked French Connection 2,
Hmm.
Ronin, the 1998 film. He directed that.
Yeah. And he did the cool Don Johnson movie, Dead Bang from 1989, which I actually haven't seen that in 100 years. I would like to see that again. So maybe I could track that down.
I've never seen it.
Oh, and he famously replaced Richard Stanley on the 1996 Island of Dr. Moreau, Michael.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
The
he did.
great Richard Stanley.
Was-
Every,
Yeah, long
recent
story there.
everything went black guest.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. But yeah, that movie got so out of control. It took two directors to make that movie happen. Yeah.
So we mentioned that the screenplay, Elmore Leonard was hands-on with the screenplay along with John Stripling. And an interesting note is that Elmore Leonard also wrote Mr. Majestic, which was
Hmm.
turned into a movie which starred Charles Bronson.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'd like to see that again. I haven't seen it in a long time too. Um, but yeah, man, very cool cast, huh?
Yeah. So this came out November 7th, 1986. It's 110 minutes long, and the cast is fucking
Hmm.
stellar, if you ask
Oh
me,
yeah.
man.
Hmm.
Yeah. Of course, we got the great Roy Scheider as Harry Mitchell, the lovely Anne Margaret as Barbara Mitchell, his wife,
Mhm.
Vanity as Doreen,
Yes.
John Glover as the principal bad guy, Alan Ramey in this.
Oh, total evil sleaze. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. We got Clarence Williams III as Robert Lee,
Mhm.
which this is going way back now. He was in the mod squad.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
And
played
like
Link.
in the early 70s on television. It's a huge show.
Yeah.
But he was also in Purple Rain.
Yep.
He's in Tales from the Hood. He's in
Oh
Deep
yeah.
Cover, American Gangster.
Yeah.
He was a Tony Award nominated stage actor. I mean, he was a fucking awesome guy. He died in 2021 at the age of 81 years old. But yeah,
Wow.
definitely fucking cool as hell guy.
I, I wanted to shout out the mod squad because
Hmm.
that's kind of obscure, like especially with the younger people that listen to this.
Oh, no, I forgot. Dude, he's Prince's father in Purple Rain.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Crazy, crazy. Great actor.
We
Um,
got
you
Lonnie
mentioned
Chap. I'm sorry.
oh yeah,
Sorry.
you mentioned Vanity. I mean, okay, Vanity in like 1986 is literally one of the best looking women in the world. I'm sorry. Like me and all my brothers were like in love with Vanity
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point in time, man. She was just drop dead gorgeous woman. Rest in peace to Vanity too.
We got Lonnie Chapman as Jim O'Boyle,
Hmm.
Kelly Preston as Cindy Frazier.
Hmm.
Let's see. What else we got? We have some real hard hitters later on, shall I say,
Yes.
party
Other
goers here.
actual porn stars are in this
Yeah.
movie, about five or six of them.
So this movie really dips into the sleazy side of life, and we've got a real sublime collection of porno actors and actresses in this. So of course we've got Tom Byron, the great Randy West, who's probably one of
Hmm.
my favorites, actually. Ron Jeremy,
Hmm.
Amber Lynn, and Jamie Gillis. Jamie Gillis, one of the more interesting old school like 70s porn guys.
Yes. Oh, and Sharon Mitchell is also in this movie as well. I spotted her in that party scene. It's funny. Tom Byron has talked about being in this movie a bunch on his Facebook page over the years. Tom Byron's a Facebook friend,
Oh,
and
cool.
he has a book he's putting together, and he's been threatening this book for like 2 years. I hope it finally comes out. He's had quite a life, but yeah, he had nothing but great things to say about everybody's time as their little scenes in this great movie.
Seen Ron Jeremy in person several times in Los Angeles at the Bar and Grill, like at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's next to the Roxy, which,
Yes. Yes. Mhm.
several tours, going through LA. We played at the Roxy, and then like we would obviously go, of course, you have to go to the Rainbow to hang out afterwards. So like after loading out, before we take off for the night, we'd always go in there, and I'd always see Ron Jeremy in there pretty much every time.
Well, I was there in 2024. It was really cool. Of course, I had a Jack and Coke as my drink. It was really cool to be there. I was there in the afternoon, but it was still a lot of fun. Wasn't a ton of people there, so I got to take a ton of pictures and walk around. It was a
Yeah.
good time.
So on to the particulars of this movie. So Harry Mitchell is a successful industrialist. He's
Mhm.
like some sort of material science inventor of some
Mhm.
sort of process, like metallurgical process, which is being utilized for like what I can glean, like aerospace and like defense applications or something like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's married to Barbara, and she's running for city council. So it's, we got a power couple here. We got
Yeah. Yeah.
the rich industrialist, his beautiful wife, and she's getting political. So what can go wrong?
Exactly. What can go wrong? I will say this movie, you're up and running in 10 minutes, huh? Right? Like
Yeah,
there isn't 5 seconds wasted in this movie if you've never seen this movie. But yeah, up and running.
and the way that these guys enter into his life is very interesting too.
Mhm.
Um, so it turns out, despite having a beautiful wife like
And Margaret
Margaret,
is awesome. Oh yeah.
oh yeah, she's great, man, beautiful woman. He is going has a relationship outside of the wedding, outside of his
Mm.
marriage, rather, I should say.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So he's going to meet up with this lady at her place, and he walks in. There's three dudes wearing balaclavas that are just
Oh yeah.
basically waiting for him.
Hmm.
That's never a good,
Never
never a
good,
good sign.
man. Three guys like masked, and they one got a gun, and yeah, life is about to change for poor Harry.
Yeah. So, they show him the video of him and his mistress, significantly younger lady who that's Cindy, basically, is his
Oh yeah.
mistress.
The lovely Kelly Preston, who passed away several years ago, aka Mrs. John Travolta, Kelly Preston. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and she's a little shady. She's like a stripper, and
Hmm.
other things most likely.
Yep.
Um, so they demand $105,000 per year,
Mm.
and everything goes away.
Yep.
Yeah. So because his wife is involved in politics, obviously he has to keep this whole thing under wraps to avoid a scandal.
All right.
Yeah. So this is the plot. This is what the whole movie's about right there.
Yeah,
You know, he,
it's three, slime balled guys involved in the porn world who are conning this guy who, is wealthy and has a pretty wife. And if he doesn't do as they say, they'll ruin his life and, probably go after the wife, which we get to later. And I mean, let's just say there's a lot at stake. He's a successful guy. His wife is about to be very public in politics. So he's at in a bit of a pickle, kids. Yeah.
And these are some bad people, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, yeah, these are some bad dudes. We've got, Alan, who's like the kind of mastermind of this whole caper.
Mhm.
Um, he's, involved in porno.
Mhm.
Um, one of the more colorful characters in this movie, definitely.
And he
He's
has
got
this
the
Philadelphia accent that
he's
is
got
very prevalent. And I'm wondering if it's on purpose. It's very interesting.
yeah.
The film is set in LA. Apparently the book was set in Detroit. But the movie is in, mid 80s porn era, LA 80s VHS era. And I think it really kind of suits the plot of the film.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't think the plot could have been anywhere else,
Nah, it works perfectly in LA because
Yeah, yeah.
you got
And
porn,
mhm.
you got this industrialist, you got, political, you got the LA Sunset Strip backdrop for a lot of this too.
Yeah, and off camera, Mike and I were talking, and I was saying that this film pairs very well with three other films that are heralded by Necromaniacs podcast: 8 millimeter, Hardcore, and Vice Squad. I would say 52 Pickup is in that Mount Rushmore of these four films for sleaze, crime, and kind of unforgettable films. No,
Yeah, definitely. We could do a festival with those four
with those
movies.
four, yeah, definitely.
So and we also, of course, so part of this other crew is Bobby, who is the
Mhm.
muscle, you know.
Yep.
And then Jim O'Boyle, who it's unclear what his actual he's like the probably the least skilled at crime out of the three.
Yes, but he owns his own porn theater
Yeah,
and does his own kind of thing on the side. Um, yeah, he's the weak link, basically. But
yeah,
he serves his purpose, but he's definitely the weak link. He's the most nervous. He's probably the most prone to fold, as they
yeah,
say.
yep.
Um, but he's a very interesting character actor as well. Like he's pretty great. He kind of
Yeah,
chews the
definitely.
scenery too. All three of these bad guys, folks, are like scene chewers. Like they really are. Like it's you kind of can't take your eyes off them.
And Clarence Williams III looks like Dr. No from the Bad Brains. It's like
He kind of does actually. Yeah, he
he's
kind of
got
does from
like
Bad
this
Brains.
very intense like look about
Mm,
him. And
hmm
he's the muscle, like he's the guy who's been in
Yeah,
jail, like all that stuff.
super intimidating. I mean, the casting in this movie is great. I mean, everybody in this movie, I think, is pretty fucking phenomenal. But things pick up. He initially Harry, refuses to cave into these demands, and like there's a scene where they wanted to go to a ball game so that he can give the first deposit, and instead of a deposit, it's like a bunch of pieces of paper that are like up yours or fuck you or whatever, and they're like, they're not taking me seriously, and so they break into like the hat like what's the main guy the main bad guy, the Philly accent.
Oh, Alan.
Raimi. Raimi, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he breaks into the house and kind of pretends to be like, I don't know, like an insurance salesman or something to
Yeah, it's like
Aunt
real
Margaret.
sketchy. Yeah.
Very sketchy, but he's also kind of intimidating, as and Aunt Margaret is like, what the hell is that all about? Um, but something happens early on in the movie that I kind of forgot about, and it's um, Roy Scheider's confession to his wife, right? That's like
Yeah.
about what he's done. Yeah.
Which is a smart thing to do in this situation. You know what I mean? It's like trying to
Mm.
get ahead of this whole thing. And it's like a very emotional scene. It's like, he just basically is like, I'm seeing, I'm seeing someone else,
Yeah,
and
he said it weird, like I'm seeing someone else. But at this point, like she's gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not really seeing her anymore. It was pretty much like a fling, and
yeah.
she kind of roped him into this horrible fucking, mess he's in because she was with them as well, which they actually say to him in the beginning, right?
Yeah, that's
Um,
actually that's really important that she was
he's in on it. But
yeah, she's
she
in on
is
the whole
mhm.
scenario. Yeah.
she's in on the scenario, but sadly we learned that she didn't really want to do this,
Yeah.
she felt bad about it and this and that. Um, but yeah, early on he just gives it all to his wife, and of course Anne Margaret is not thrilled. She kind of, kicks him out of the house or whatnot. But yes, important to do because now like things have escalated, Mike. So yeah, I mean, if I was in this position, I would have done the same thing. Yes.
Yeah, and that scene is like super uncomfortable.
Mm.
She's like, was he doing all kinds of kinky sex? Like she wanted, like she was saying all these like things that made him super uncomfortable.
Yeah, so I looked up Anne Margaret's age when she made this movie. She was 45, 46, and Roy Scheider was about 55 when he made this movie.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then she asked how old the girl Cindy was, and he goes 22. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that's pretty young.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely,
yeah,
man. You're
that's like Anne
55, you got a
Margaret must have
20,
been,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Anne Margaret was definitely not having it. Yeah.
Man, she looked great though, dude. I don't give a
Oh yeah,
fuck.
dude. I mean, you know, in another life, Elvis and her got married and had a bunch of kids. I mean, like they had that crazy chemistry together in Viva Las Vegas, and like there's a whole lot of lore about the two of them during the making of that movie, but they never became an actual couple. But apparently they were friends till the day Elvis died,
Oh
according to Aunt
wow.
Margaret. But yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So they break into the house and steal Harry's gun. Okay, and this is where shit gets real dark in the
Mm.
movie. So you know, this is the most Italian part of the movie, if you ask me.
Mm. Yeah, they kind of well, I don't know if they kidnap him again. They get
They
him
abduct him. They abduct
to
him.
they abduct him, and they get him to watch this, of course, VHS footage of Cindy tied up and crying and blindfolded, and they reveal his gun, and the gun, it has like a, what is it, like a rope tied to it, basically,
It's like rigged
tied
up
to a
like you would
board.
in like in a Lucio Fulci film or something
Yeah,
like
it
that.
is kind of Giallo-esque, this
That's what
moment.
I'm
It
saying,
is.
man.
It kind
Yeah.
of is. And the way they show her being shot and killed, it's kind of slow motion, and you feel really bad for her. It is a pretty horrific moment in the movie, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and also they have his jacket and all these incriminating
A
items.
tie. Yes, they have a tie, a jacket, his gun, basically all stuff that could tie him to her murder. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean this kind of like ups the ante and now he has to really, come correct with this whole caper that's going on. Like he needs to pay them. Otherwise, now he's implicated in this murder. He's been framed.
Yes. Also, listeners, of note, there is zero police involvement in this movie.
Yep,
Like
that's right.
none at all, which is wild, right?
Well, yeah, also just keeping in line that in a weird way he's trying to he's trying to protect his wife and her political career.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
some sort of scandal like this would like completely ruin her career.
The only other person that he involves is his friend, right?
Yeah, was that
Um,
guy a lawyer or he was
I think
somehow
so. I think he
yeah,
was. I think he was a lawyer. Yeah, yeah. And he also
yeah.
knew the wife too. I mean, right, right. But that's it. Like, there's no calls to the police. There's no police coming to save the day in this movie. No one is coming to save the day in this movie, except of course the main character who has to save his own day. So it's interesting, really interesting.
Yeah, and yeah, so from here on out, but this is the thing, like Harry is also in a predicament because most of his money, and this gets revealed in another scene that's coming up, he
Hmm.
actually doesn't have the cash, even though he's
Right.
like this business owner. Like he doesn't have $105,000 laying around. He actually has 52
He has 52K. Yes, very
grand,
interesting. Mhm.
hence 52 pickup. Here we go.
52 pickup.
Right.
Exactly. That's how
Yeah.
much he can give them. And I looked it up, Mike Hill, as I always do with money and old movies or whatever time periods. Um, so 52,000 in 2026 is 120 something thousand to today. So it's like three guys going after over 100 grand today to ruin a guy's life, basically.
Which is still like chump change, really, in the big picture,
Yeah, but I
in
think to these
crime.
guys though, these bad guys are not. They're not rich. Like you know what I'm saying?
But
But
that's what gives this movie like its grittiness too. It's like they're
mm,
not looking for millions of dollars. They're looking for like 100 grand.
yeah, right, right. And they're willing to do horrible things for like 100 grand. You
A
know?
100 grand split up three ways.
Yeah, yeah. Crazy, dude.
Yeah, there's like this desperation to it, you know what I mean? Like these guys are like living on this edge, and that's game-changing money for them, That's what makes this movie work. Like it's so, real. It's just the grittiness of this movie is like it's like really palpable because of this kind of small timeness of it.
Oh yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Well, not only that, they're not only willing to ruin this guy's life and his wife's career, they're also willing to murder. They murdered Cynthia.
Mm,
Yeah, so like we said earlier, these are some bad, bad guys, man.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's the 80s and it's kind of just like in line with where a lot of movies were getting kind of dark in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like Siskel and Ebert reviewed this movie, and Ebert actually liked the movie a lot. He loved it. But
Yeah, I can
Siskel
see.
thought it was too violent at times and
Uh,
too sleazy. And he said the movie didn't need it. And Roger
no.
Ebert was like, no. He goes, it wasn't. He goes, it was not too violent and too this, do that. It actually wasn't. He said. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. It's on YouTube. Their take on it.
Well, the only murder is Cynthia.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple of
It's
people get smacked around a little bit, but there's no, it's not like that. That her murder was pretty brutal. But
yeah,
that's
it
the only
was.
one though in the film.
Mm,
Yeah.
good point.
But so anyway, Harry tracks down Alan. He just sort of goes out on the street, and then he I love the scene where he kind of triangulates where this theater is, where he is the porno, where he owns his porno theater. So
Yeah, he gets resourceful.
and when he goes to the to the box office, he asks the girl behind the counter, he's like, how's the movie? And she's like, it's beautiful. I got a kick out of it. So
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I'm looking for Alan. And she right away, he's like, oh, he's upstairs. And he said,
That's
we'll have to go
right.
talk to him. And she's like, well, that's still $5. So she charges him the entrance fee, even though he's just going to go
Yeah.
and talk
Where's
to
my
Alan.
$5?
Yeah, that was such a great scene, I thought.
For sure.
So, this is where he confronts Alan, and Alan's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, maybe I do, maybe I don't. He's like evasive because remember, these guys had masks on when they interacted with him, you know, and it was just a good scene. And, of course, he gets a little physical, and of course, the truth comes out that Alan is the guy who's trying to, blackmail him.
Mm. Um, it was funny, like you get to see Raimi like he's like working. He's like legitimately like working in this
He's like
theater.
the cameraman.
Yeah, he's doing important stuff.
Yeah.
God.
It's just the small time nature of this whole thing and the lengths that they're willing to go to.
Mm.
That's what makes this movie really.
It's true.
Yeah,
Very true. Fucking crazy, man.
yeah. All right, so Harry has an accounting background, it turns out.
Yes.
So this is where it gets all revealed. He invites him to come down to the shop, to his business, and he's going to go over the books with him to show him that he doesn't have the 105, liquid. So, Harry, Alan goes through all his books. I found that to be like a little, that's a leap of faith. You know what I mean?
Mm.
He
It
goes
is.
through he goes through all his books, and Alan makes a statement. He's like, oh yeah, like a lot of you rich guys, you don't have any money.
Yes.
Basically something like that. So it's like everything's tied up in like capital. He's got like his business, the equipment, all this like gear that's in the in this shop here, this manufacturing facility that he has, and then
Mhm.
very little cash on hand.
Well, that's the thing. It's like he's rich, but he's not that rich, I guess,
Yeah, it's so interesting actually. I thought.
Mm. But listeners, the reason he really does this, we learn, is so that he gets his fingerprints on all that stuff for,
Exactly.
a later reveal. It's kind of he's although he's kind of like terrified to a degree, Scheider, he's
Yeah.
becoming less terrified, and he's really using his head now because again, he's not involving the police, and he's figuring out a ways to win, basically. No?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. He's
Mm.
trying to get the upper hand in this situation.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, all right, so Harry also goes down to now the other guy's his porn operation is like a little bit even sleazier, really. It's
Yeah.
the the Jim O'Boyle or Doyle
Mm-hmm.
O'Boyle.
No, but yeah.
He's got this like now this could only exist in the 21st century. This is not something that would ever exist now in the world of sleaze,
True.
where his operation is, you go in, you book some time with a model
Hmm.
and you can take photographs of her, or other things, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like
It's
she's
like
like
so
5
weird.
feet from you, and you can just like, you know, take a bunch of pics and watch her get naked. It's wild. Yeah, it is very interesting. Good point.
Yeah, yeah, it's such a sleazy like operation, and probably not just take pictures, I'm imagining, right?
Hmm.
For tips or whatever.
Crazy.
So this is where we get in touch with where we find Doreen. That's the beautiful Vanity, played by the beautiful Vanity.
Hmm.
And she is kind of like the linchpin of for Harry to find out who the rest of the guys are, like what's going on with everybody, like who's involved and this sort of thing.
Hmm. Um, the thing is, she herself later gets into some very big trouble. She almost gets killed. Well, I say almost, but because Cindy was her friend.
Yeah,
And, Roy Scheider gets information out of her, and that turns out to be a very big mistake.
yeah, definitely. And was she, I guess, it kind of leads you to believe that her and Bobby were like together in some ways, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
They were, but he said she's my friend. Remember that at some point, something like that. Like they asked him if she would ever like sell them out or whatever, and he just refers to her as my friend. But obviously, it's more than his friend.
yeah.
Hmm. Totally.
Yeah, so now at this point, he knows about Bobby, and he knows about you know, the Leo. I think I
Hmm.
got the guy's name wrong. I called him something else earlier. Yeah, it's not Jim O'Boyle, it's Leo. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, Leo, and this is sort of like the noose is tightening on everyone's necks now because
Mhm.
you know she kind of like Doreen is like revealing who everyone is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, what do you call it? Now I feel like it's funny. At this point, Anne Margaret has not been, you know, roughed up just yet.
Yeah.
But that we come to a scene a little later where what do you call it? Clarence Williams breaks into the house, and it's basically, okay, it's once it's revealed to the Raimi character about the 52K, but Raimi never tells the other two guys about the 52K, right?
Yeah, that's right. So
He's lying to them.
he's
Hmm.
lying to them. You're getting the sense that he's probably going to try to double cross everybody.
Yep.
Yeah. And
But when Clarence Williams tries to go to, I mean, when he breaks into the house, is he trying to like kill Roy Scheider and Anne Margaret? Like, I'm trying to remember.
that's unknown. I don't really understand why he broke into the house because he's unsuccessful at whatever it is because he bails.
Yeah, he is. Well, he is definitely trying to kill Harry, right?
Yeah,
But Harry and Margaret Barbara, they get his ass. They overpower him, and you know, he starts talking about the money, and Bobby has no idea about the money. Okay, and he is not
yeah,
happy with that.
right.
Yeah,
But I mean, what I was trying to say though is I wasn't quite clear on what his motivation to kill. Well, I guess because he was starting to find out too much about things, and that's why he was motivated to kill Harry.
loose
So yeah,
end. Yeah,
yeah,
it
there's
was
a
a
loose
loose
end.
end.
There you go. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Is it also revealed too? I forgot which one of these guys reveals that the ultimate fate of Cindy because they were talking about her body at one point, and I think it was either him or Leo. It's like, oh, there is no body. They just dumped her in the
Leo,
river or
yes,
something.
Leo
Yeah.
says it later on. He says it later on. Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
and there was something just dark about that too, man. Like, oh, don't worry about it. There's no body. Like we just,
Mm,
it's gone essentially.
I
You know,
know.
like that poor girl that never existed. You know what I mean?
Jeez. Um, so armed with that information, Bobby goes and confronts Raimi and demands that he just wants to have, and they kind of, say that Leo has to go, right?
Yeah, yeah. He gets X'd out of the whole situation.
Yeah, yeah, he gets killed by Bobby, and pretty cool scene actually, the shooting scene where he kind of goes to his porn theater and then he leaves, and he kills Leo and his boyfriend with bullets shot from outside the theater that smashed the glass. That was a cool scene, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm. Um, but this is where, like, I think now is where Anne Margaret gets abducted
Yeah,
um, by Raimi in a very hard to watch kind of moment because he drugs her with skag, which is black tar heroin. Okay, and this Anne Margaret's character has, let me trust me, has never done heroin before. Okay, and he just like injects it into her so that she'll calm down, and then he takes his shirt off, and I go like again, I kind of
yeah.
forgot like what was going to
Oh yeah.
happen, and they cut to another scene. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my God, he fucking rapes her? Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
Yeah, it's like super creepy. Like
yeah, the
it's
movie
even
gets
creepier.
very dark. It
Yeah,
does.
it's like the fact that I mean, you know, they don't it's off screen and it
Yeah.
just creepy as hell because he just takes his shirt off and they cut.
Yeah. It didn't need to be on screen. It didn't need
Yeah.
any kind of anything else did not need to be on screen because there's this scene where he shoots her up with the drugs and we see her face contort. And it is just like a really depressing moment in this movie.
Now, kind of speaking to like the Siskel and Ebert, which was the one who didn't like it? It was Gene Siskel had a problem with this
Yeah,
movie.
Gene Siskel didn't like it. Ebert did like it. Gene
All right.
Siskel thought it for a movie like this, it didn't need some of these scenes.
Well, let me make a comment on that because
Mm,
if they were going to go excessive and exploitative, they would have had some kind of body double scene with Barbara getting raped, probably, or at least nudity. But
yeah.
they didn't, and I thought that was like in a movie that is over the top like this, there was like some good restraint, I thought.
The thing is, there is nudity, but it's not. Look, yeah, it's not for kids. This is not a kids movie.
No, no,
This is
no.
not a young
But
teenager
there's no
movie.
like rape or anything. It's like just like, porn stuff, porn chicks like
It's a
walking.
lot of porny stuff. There's a lot of toplessness.
Yeah, a lot of
There's a lot of
toplessness.
topless scenes, tons, including vanity, including not Anne Margaret, of course, but again, it just has uncomfortable moments, But I
Yeah.
think it's pretty in line with a lot of movies of the day at that point, in my opinion. No?
Yeah, totally, and it's like, yeah, that part of it, well, the 80s and the 70s were like, there's some hard ass movies that were made in that era.
Yeah, and a lot of female actresses did nude scenes,
That's
and
right.
they did them all the time, actually, and it wasn't a big deal. Um, yeah, Kelly Preston has a bunch of nude scenes in a bunch of movies in the 80s. So, again, look, it's hard to look at old things with a modern lens, but this was a big part of like 80s action films, 80s crime films. And they definitely don't make these like this today, but they did back then.
Yeah, well, you know what though? I mean, I'm not gonna, I don't want to get all like PC about it, but it's like,
No, no,
how
no,
do you
no.
make a movie about this type of these types of people without nudity? You know what I mean?
Well,
You
look, I
can't
mean,
really.
we did Basic Instinct earlier this, in the winter, and we talked about the remake, and apparently the remake is now happening. So
Oh
how
no,
they're going to do that? Well, good luck. You know
no,
what I'm saying? Like,
no, I don't want to
it's gonna
see
be
that.
terrible. Yeah,
Yeah.
unless it's a envelope pushing remake, which I have a funny feeling it won't be. But yeah, good luck.
Well, there is a movie. I'm not going to say it was that a good film. It was something I brought up about covering. It was called Loveland. That
Mhm.
was like I know Jeff didn't like it or he saw it, he hated it or whatever, and like it had to do with like it was a horror film. It was like a slasher movie that took place at a truck stop, and it revolved around prostitutes, like
Mm.
truck stop prostitutes, and
Okay,
there's
Loveland. I'll check it out.
there's nudity in it, like
Oh,
a lot of nudity, and it's like it's a newer film that came out in the last like 5 years. I'm like, that would be unusual, I think. You know what I mean? To have a movie like that without any nudity, and it's like,
yeah, for
you know,
sure.
I, I mean, I get it, exploitation, whatever, but it's like there's times where things like that are appropriate. It's like,
Mm.
I don't know. I'm not trying to, make any kind of, you know, social statement about any of these things. I'm just saying that it'd be weird to have a movie that has a lot of strippers and porn chicks in it and not have nudity. It's weird, I
Yeah,
thought. Yeah.
totally. I agree. I mean, um, you know, I never try to be PC or whatever, but
Yeah, me neither.
I do see that things have greatly changed. Some things for the better, some things maybe not for the better. Um, but again, these movies were movies that like you would like sneak and watch and not tell your parents,
Well, and that's the beauty of them. It's like an
Yeah.
R-rated film, man. And it's
Yeah.
like, I definitely, I'm not going to apologize for liking these films at all.
No, they're great movies. I
Excellent
mean, as a matter of
movies.
fact, you know, uh, this movie did actually not very well at all at the box office, but it did very well as a rental, and it is looked at completely different now than it was when it came out. It's regarded as a classic now. So yeah, I mean, and sometimes things are a little ahead of their time, or they're just not appreciated in the moment that they came out. Um, this movie came out, was it November of '86?
Yeah,
That's almost like
November.
Christmas time. This isn't really a Christmas time movie,
No, no,
you
no, no.
know.
It's definitely not a holiday film. No.
It's yeah, it's a kind of a weird time for a movie like this to come out, honestly. But
Yeah.
um
Um, so we have to mention too that Alan um coveted Harry's car.
yeah,
This like
yes, yes.
65 Jaguar.
Comes into play, yes.
Of course, this dude drives this like sick like sports car. You know what I mean?
Mm, mm.
Um,
Um and Vanity at this point has been, helping Roy Scheider's Harry along with the caper, and her and Roy Scheider make it over to this warehouse to finally do the exchange of money for Barbara, but sadly everything kind of goes to hell, and Doreen is killed, of course.
yeah,
Um, it's kind of like everything that you kind of thought was going to go wrong kind of goes wrong at the very end, right?
yeah. Bobby gets shot, and
Mhm.
it's like you could chalk that up to Alan's like small time greed, really.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had a feeling that he was just going to keep everything for himself, Mr. Philly accent. Um, Philly accent pornographer in LA. Um, but the thing is, like you mentioned about the car, there's the final exchange where Raimi pulls Barbara out of the car, and Barbara is just like a mess.
Yeah.
But at one point Harry said to him, "Don't harm a hair on her," or whatever. Remember that?
Yep, I do remember
And
that.
Right, right. And you could see that he did not keep to that promise or whatever. He
Yeah, and he says something really kind of just like out of line too. He's like, it's not bad for all the mileage she has,
Yes,
you
yes,
know.
yes. As he's giving it over to her, and he hands them the money. Um, and he gets that classic 1965 Jaguar, which he offers as a getaway vehicle. But unbeknownst to Raimi, the car has been triggered with a bomb. This is a cool moment in the movie. Um, he turns on the radio, and it's Roy Scheider's voice telling me he has 10 seconds to live, and he's trying to get out of the door, and like the door handles are coming apart on the inside, and he's shooting the car, and it doesn't open, and it explodes, and Harry and Barbara walk away kind of sadly. Um, but the thing is, like, you just have to think about, okay, like, what the hell becomes of these people now? Like, think about that. Like Anne Margaret might be like a catatonic. Like, it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of a downbeat ending, even though it's a semi-happy ending.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, she's going to be severely traumatized from the situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
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 like,
like you said, like maybe even like catatonic. Like who knows if she's going to recover?
yeah, and she did absolutely nothing wrong. Like
Nope.
nothing at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, um, the thing is, a lot of 80s movies like this, like some of those 70s movies, were just, kind of downer endings to a degree, right?
Yeah, definitely. And you could even make the argument to say that she was the only character in this film that wasn't, that was like good, like a good person. Even Harry, he's like, cheating on his wife, and
Mm.
it's like, and of course the three villains are vile, really bad people.
Yeah. What I did not realize in my research is that this is the second version of a 52 pickup adaptation. The movie The Ambassador is also based on 52 pickup novel,
Huh.
but it doesn't really have a lot of resemblance to it, though.
Wow.
It takes place instead of Detroit, it takes place in Tel Aviv, but it has the whole blackmailing kind of thing.
Hmm.
But it's blackmailing the family of a U.S. ambassador to Israel. It's a movie called The Ambassador from 1984, and it is loose 52 pickup. But apparently, this 1986 52 pickup is the way more faithful to the book version. I'd
Totally
like to see The
unfamiliar.
Ambassador. Yeah, yeah, I'd
Totally
like to see
unfamiliar.
that now too. Um, the weird thing is, yeah, like the budget for this movie, it says was 8 million. The actual box office in '86 was only $5 million. So it
Hmm.
actually did very poorly. Uh, but it was a big hit on home video. And like I said, there's a bunch of interesting like YouTube clips about this movie that talk about, how it's looked upon way more fondly now than it was back then. Um, and again, yeah, Ebert really liked this movie. And he didn't think it was like too over the top or whatever. Um, but it only has a 58% based on Rotten Tomatoes from 19 critics. Isn't that kind of low?
I
Like
think
a
so.
58% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes? I don't know. There are a lot of prudes out there. Like, this is a great movie.
Could be. I
Hmm.
mean, also people might not even know about the film really.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, I would say so. Look, when you
it's
think of Roy Scheider, you don't think of this movie, right?
no, not at all. I mean, and this movie had some, pretty big names in it. Aaron Margaret was in it, Roy
Hmm.
Scheider, but it's very obscure, like in his filmography.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like Frankenheimer was more of a guy of like the later 60s and the 70s, and this was his 80s output. That might was probably maybe some of the Hollywood people were kind of shitting on this movie back in the day.
Probably, yeah.
Um, I have a funny feeling they probably definitely were, but this is a fucking great movie, man, with
Oh yeah.
really good performances and very bad guys. It's got a cool score, great like mid 80s
Yeah,
synth
yeah,
score. Yeah,
totally,
yeah.
dude. For a minute, I had to check. I thought it had like almost like there's like some Tangerine Dream vibes to it, but it wasn't them. It was like another dude did the score for this.
Yes. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, a lot to like.
yeah.
Hell
So
yeah.
how do you score this one, Mike?
Man, I think I am giving this a 4.5.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah.
I gave it a 4.5. It's pretty much like exactly the type of film in this genre that I enjoy. And like I said, it also has some, some strains of Italian crime films.
Mm,
There's like aspects of it that remind me of Lucio Fulci and Sergio Argento.
for
I'm sorry,
sure.
Sergio Martino rather.
Hmm.
Especially the gun scene, where it's rigged up, where with the videotape and all that, where Cindy gets killed. And yeah, it's just there's parts of it that just seem very European in a lot of ways too. Even
Yeah,
the ending with the car blowing up, that seems like something that would be in a Sergio Martino film too.
I would totally agree, man. Yeah, solid 4.5 for me, for sure.
Yeah, no, it's a good one, man.
You know. All right. So we finally covered 52 pickup. Like I said, it definitely goes in line with Vice Squad, Hardcore, and 8 millimeter, as like these really kind of like dark and dirty kind of crime sleaze films. But again, I think all four movies are great movies overall.
Yeah. I mean, just I love it. I would love to watch maybe this winter, man, around the holidays or something. I'll hole up with all these movies on a day off and just bang them all out in a row.
Mm, hell yeah.
With some popcorn.
All right. Thank you all for your support, and we will see you next time.
Take care, everyone.
In my dreams, it's still the same. Your love is strong.